Welcome, everyone. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. Another playlist battle coming up, and this time it's BB King. Who saw that coming? Well, Richard did because he's the one that came up with it. So let's do our playlists for BB King and see how they match up, and then maybe you'll agree with one of them, or maybe you'll have your own playlist that you'd like to divulge in the comment section. But either way, we're going to be talking about a lot of blues on this particular episode as we discuss the playlists that we've created for BB King. We are the Vinyl Community Guncles. Once again, I'm Robert Fithen, along with Mike from Hubtunes, Craig from Craig's Vinyl Plethora, and ladies and gentlemen, the man that released three blues albums under the name CC Queen, it is Richard from Calvin Wazoo.
That CC Queen is a writer.
You've been waiting to do that all week, haven't you?
No, I just made that up like on the way home.
Oh, you have to see it.
Like CC Ryder.
Whoa, here comes my ride.
Yeah, speaking of the blues, somebody's got them. I'm going to have them in about a minute.
In the Cook County Jail.
All right, BB King. What a catalog this guy has.
Yeah.
I mean, going all the way back to the 40s. Blues has always been probably my foundation genre that I listen to, but I started with like blues rock. I didn't really go back and explore the original blues artists right away. That came later, and BB King definitely was one of them. And fascinating story. I ended up getting his autobiography and then met him at a show. So he was very kind and signed his autobiography, which is a fascinating story. Most of the time before I had albums, but then, I sold them all and then I was into CDs. And so for a long time, all I had was this CD box set, which is a really excellent box set because it goes from 1949 up to 1991. Although he lived until, he died in 2015.
Yeah.
Amazing life. Lost all his money because of a bad manager in about the middle of his career. But right up until the very end, he's been touring. So I've got a few records too that we showed this before, the BB King in the Cook County Jail, Blues is King. I gradually have been picking them up because a lot of times when you find them in the record store, they're in really trash condition because, people play them. So I haven't picked up that many, but then there's this one kind of off on an off label, BB King at the Regal, live at the Regal. The King of the Blues, BB King. Some of these are reissues. Singing the Blues. This is definitely a reissue. I would love to get that early one that shows him on the cover. What he's wearing shorts. I think that's his first album, perhaps. And then there's this one here, The Jungle, BB King. So yeah, this is he's influential, and what I really like is that he plays very, very few. He plays traditional blues, but he writes all his music. He writes all his songs, and he's just got an amazing catalog. So starting off, I got 21, a weird number, but that's what I came up with is 21. And at number 21 is the 1970 release Hummingbird. So this was recorded with Leon Russell and Joe Walsh. And this is also a Jim Zimzik production. So Zimzik has this particular sound with that. Yeah,
I think Leon Russell wrote that song. I think that's Leon Russell.
Hummingbird? Song. Okay, yeah. So that's the number 21. Then the 1991 song "Many Miles Traveled" is just a good rock and blues song that's got some real soul to it. I like that one. Number 19 is going back to 1965, "All Over Again." I love the line, "I've got a mind to give up living and go shopping instead." He's just kind of fed up with somebody, and he's just he's taken to the road. Number 18. No, yeah. What was that?
That line makes no sense, but anyway.
Yeah, I know it doesn't. That's why I like it. I'm going to give up living, and I'm going to go shopping instead. It's like, okay. Let's see, 18, "Chains and Things." This is a 1970 Zimzik production also. From that one there. The 1963, "Sneaking Around." I just love the raucous jamming of that "Sneaking Around" song. 16 is "3 O'Clock Blues." That's from 1951. And then at 15 is this 1940, to go back to 1949, Miss Martha King. Really, really good song. You got Ben Branch on sax. And this was a previously unreleased single on any album. It's on the CD box set. I don't know if it ever did show up on an album. Then, probably a very recognized song at number 14, "To Know You Is to Love You," which was co-written with Stevie Wonder, who also performs on that song. That was from 1973. And then at 13 is "Darling, You Know I Love You," 1982. It's got Woody Shaw on trumpet. Let's see, number 12, "Never Make a Move Too Soon." This is from 1977, very jammin', funky groove to it. I like, again, the line, "One thing's for certain, baby, I never make my move too soon." There we go. Then at number 11, "I Got Some Help I Don't Need." The single edit is the version that I like. That's from 1971. And then we get into the top 10 with at number 10. This is from a live show in 71 in Tokyo. "Niji Baby." Just really, really good performance and song all the way. Number 9, "The Thrill Is Gone." It's from 1969. Probably one of his more famous songs. But at number 8, also from 1969, is this "Why I Sing the Blues." It's just this hip rockin' jam. It's just killer all the way around.
I forgot about that song.
Number 7 is from the Live at the Regal album, but it was recorded in Chicago at the Regal Theater in Chicago in 1964. "Sweet Little Angel." Really good tune there. Going back to 1953, "You Upset Me, Baby." It's just some of these songs. I just love the way he sings them. And "You Upset Me, Baby." Number 5. Now we're getting into the top 5. "Let the Good Times Roll." This is from 1976 with Bobby Bland. This was another live recording at the Coconut Grove. Sweet. Yeah, great album cover. Number 4, "5 Long Years," 1972. I love the way his voice in this song goes from this like deep major growl, but then he'll rise up to this like smooth choir boy voice. It's just really incredible, the range he had, and his playing, too. I mean, you listen to a play. He's not a chord player. He plays notes, and he is very good at what he did. Number 3, "I'm Gonna Sit In Until You Give In." 1963. It's like, it's like he's this petulant kid, just throwing a tantrum. I'm going to sit in until I get it, until you give in. And there's no really resolution to the song. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the woman is saying, "Go ahead, you can sit there all you like, because I'm not giving in." Number three, probably the most famous. Well, no, not quite the most famous, but Lucille from 1967. Story of his guitar. I think he's had two or three Lucille's. Can't quite remember. Um, but yeah, that when he talks about how Lucille saved his life, because he was playing at some bar in it was in Arkansas, across the river from Memphis, and they had like these oil lamps in these like coffee cans, and somebody kicked one over and started a fire, and that's how he lost his first Lucille. And number
Lucille
one,
started the fire.
what was that?
I said Lucille was the person who started the fire. That's how he got the name.
That's how he got the name. That's right. That's right. I forgot all about that. Number one, How Blue Can You Get from 1963? Just an amazing recording. Just, quintessential blues. His vocal range and his playing, and hearing him play that song. I managed to see him live 2 times in his later years. Well, no, it wasn't that late. It was in the 1990s when I saw him. But yeah, How Blue Can You Get from 1963? There's so many good songs, that I would be surprised if any of our lists, overlap by more than just a few songs, because there's just so many out there.
Yeah.
But there you go. Cheers.
All right, Mike from
Well
Hub
done.
Tunes is next.
Yeah, that comp is awesome. I used to have that on CD. I had that comp years ago. I saw BB King once. I saw him at his place down in Memphis, which was great. He's, wasn't a screeching blues guitarist, but like you said, he played notes and he was perfect at doing it. What he did, he was just perfect at. And, I think a lot of people, I know, like blues purists, I'm not one. He kind of he commercialized blues in a way. He was slick. He was on the Tonight Show. He was on the late night shows. He was everywhere in the 80s and 90s, and his restaurants were huge. I mean, that chain was big. It still is. I mean, the one in Memphis is huge. And he did have money problems for a long, long time, and that's probably why he ventured into the restaurant business with with venues and stuff, and it probably saved him. I adore these two albums. First of all, this cover.
I love that cover.
This the cover.
That's the best cover ever.
Isn't it great?
It's
that's
so sexy.
That's Guess Who, and this is just a masterpiece. This is his best, my favorite. I don't know if it's his best, but Indianola, Mississippi Seeds, another great cover. Just two wonderful albums. I just adore these records. Man, what a catalog! I mean, does he have more live records than studio records? I mean, but he's got so many studio records, so there's no possible way you could go through everything. So I did the best I could. There's no way I could listen to everything. So a lot of my list is very these two albums heavy, because Indianola, Mississippi Seeds could be my entire list. There is not a bad song. It's a perfect record. Guess Who is a little slicker. It's got more of that 70s kind of production and stuff. It's not a raw album. It's got some good stuff on it, but man, Indianola, Mississippi is so damn good. So I got 12 songs. And no way I could come up with 21 like Richard. But having that comp probably really helps too. I mean, if I had that comp, I could have come up with a lot more stuff. I also left off, I didn't do a lot of live stuff. I started listening to a bunch of live concerts, and I'm like, okay, am I going to go down this rabbit hole and start putting great versions of great songs on my list? I have a couple, but for the most part, I think I kind of stuck to studio songs. Number 12 is a song that Richard said, and I love this song. 5 long years. It's a what I think it's the final track on is it Guess Who? I think it's Guess Who, and it's such a great song. The way you described it, his vocals, one of his better vocal performances, I think. Another great song at number 11 is Neighborhood Affair. That also is on Guess Who. Really, really good. Number 10 is the cover. It's actually a cover song. I also try to avoid cover songs. I don't know why, because he does so many cover songs, you know. But the cover song "Never Trust a Woman." Everyone has done a version. The Grateful Dead used to do it. Great, great song. Just bluesy, but it's got a southern New Orleans kind of feel to it. Great, great song. "You're Still My Woman." That is on, I believe, Indianola Mississippi Seeds. Terrific, terrific song. "Chains and Things." Richard had that on your list. I think you had that on your list. That actually I probably could have put higher. Another one, number 7. I got "Ask Me No Questions." Great, great song. His guitar work on there is just spectacular. Like I said, he's not an Albert King. You know, he where Albert King just rips on guitar. You're not, but he's so good at what he does. He's just absolutely perfect at. It's almost like a whole different genre of blues. Actually, it's it's BB King when you hear BB King. You know, that's
very
what
distinctive.
That's what I always really liked about him. Next song, "Hummingbird." Great, great song. Written by Leon Russell. Leon Russell's all over that record too, I believe. The title track from the album "Guess Who." Love that. Opens up the first side. Great song. Actually, I think this opens up. Guess Who is "Summer in the City." Great version of "Summer in the City." His guitar work again, just perfect for the song. And number 3, "Nobody Loves Me But My Mother" from Indianola, Mississippi. See, that could be my number 1, but it's not. And number 2 is a song. I don't know. I wasn't going to include this on the list. And then I was like, no, but I like this song. I liked this song when it came out. And I like this song now. I played it to make sure I still liked it. And I do. I like it. And that is "When Love Comes to Town" with U2. That is a good
That's a good
song.
jam.
I'm not a big U2 fan, but that was the highlight of that whole record was that song. It's a terrific song. And I have that at number 2. And then number 1, I have to go with his masterpiece. I mean, it's kind of what he's known for, and that's "The Thrill Is Gone." It's just a classic. How many people have covered it over the years? I mean, that's how good it is. Hundreds of people have covered that song, and it's wonderful. And he was a treasure. There's no doubt about that. I need to get more. I don't know why I never have. Maybe because I just love those 2 records so much. But yeah, I think I need to get that live at Cook County.
I was just going to say that if you're going to get it, the next one should be live in Cook County Jail.
Yeah. I had it on CD when I was in high school and stuff, and I need to get it on vinyl, and it's super cheap. I looked it up. There's a
like
the current reissue for like $19.
Yeah. Well, just like Richard was saying, originals of that. I mean, I've never beat up. Look like they've been to jail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He is definitely was a treasure. I'm glad I got to see him. And he was a funny dude too. I always remember him like being on like late night shows. He'd be on Carson and stuff, and he was a character. He was funny as can be, very personable.
He was a really nice man too.
Yeah, he seemed like a good dude. Yeah,
really nice.
Yep.
He was on an episode of Sanford and Son.
He was.
Oh,
I didn't see that. Wow.
I didn't know that. Ugh. So, no surprise to anyone, this is the most BB King I've ever listened to. So, not to say I didn't like him or anything. I just never really invested, I guess, or had the time. He's got a lot, 43 studio albums.
Wow. I didn't think it was that many.
Yeah, 43.
How many live?
With the last, I don't know the live. I didn't look that up, but with the last one being in 2008. So yeah, no, I enjoyed this. I have a top 13, and most of them aren't on Richard's list. So, with number 13, "You Upset Me, Baby," and I like because he says upsets. You upsets me, baby. You upsets me, baby, and I like it. Number 12 was actually from his last album, One Kind of Favor, that came out in 2008. It's the opening track, "See That My Grave Is Kept Clean." And I like the sound of it. I like and yeah, I would want my grave kept clean too, because I'm kind of anal about cleanliness. So, not that you would tell from, anyways, my house right now, but whatever. Number 11 from 1970 would be "Chains and Things." From 1997, featuring Mick Hucknall, would be "Please Send Me Someone to Love" from Deuces. Or Deuces Wild, yeah.
I liked a lot of that record. When I was listening to that, I wish I should probably pick that up, because that was the one where I was like,
If
this
you've
is
got
really good.
$300, you can get the vinyl. Yeah, I looked.
I won't be doing that.
Yeah, I'm like, what? It
But-
it was released in 2015 on vinyl, and it's only had one pressing.
Yeah, of all the stuff I listened to, that's the one that really caught my ear. Like, I might pick this up. Well,
Yeah,
I will not be picking this up.
Well,
So
that's when he died. If it was released in 2015, that was the year he died.
Yeah.
oh yeah, the reissue was released in 2015. Yeah. Let's see. Number 9 would be "Let the Good Times Roll" from 1976. Also from 1997 would be "Nightlife" featuring Willie Nelson. Number 7, "To Know You Is to Love You" from 1973. Number 6, "Paying the Cost to Be the Boss," 1968. Number 5, "Ain't Nobody" featuring D'Angelo. Ooh. D'Angelo.
I'm with you, Greg.
And
I'm
them
with you.
together. Woo. So good. I was like, oh, y'all knew I saw D'Angelo. That was going to be on my list. So
Maybe they should have had D'Angelo rolling on the beach with Lucille on the
oh,
cover.
yeah. Next to BB. Let's see. Number 4 would be "Rock Me Baby" from 1964. I know it's been done by a lot of people, but I like his version of it. I just love to be rocked like my back ain't got no bone. Number 3, also from 1997, featuring Bonnie Raitt, would be "Baby, I Love You."
Yeah,
And
I like that.
I love their version of
really
that.
good.
So good. So, Mikey, number 2 for me would be "When Love Comes to Town" featuring U2.
Good. I feel better.
From 1988, and I have such great memories of that. I was forced to listen to a lot of U2 growing up because it was my brother older than me. It was his favorite band. And so there was a really long time I absolutely hated them. I appreciate them a little differently now, but it's more that nostalgia. Like I think of memories that I had with him. But Rattle and Hum, we listened to that so much, and this was a song that we played constantly. So I always think of him when I hear it. But it's a great song, and they're fantastic together. So number 1 for me, but different version, also from 1997, would be "The Thrill Is Gone" featuring Tracy Chapman, because them together doing that song, oh hallelujah, Jesus, praise Lord, that it's
I'll have to look that one up. I'm not familiar
oh my God,
with that.
that whole not all of that Deuces Wild, because I mean you got stupid Eric Clapton on there, but when they did an album together too, I believe. But
yeah, they did.
Right, they did.
Pretty good album.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Tracy Chapman. And I was feeling a little like cliche having that be my number 1, but then I listened to it again with her, and I was like, yeah, they're just brilliant together. So there you have it. That is my top 13 BB King. Thank you, Richard.
Because you made this playlist, and it's diverse for BB King. It would make a decent It would make a good overview compilation, and so I did something with this playlist battle that I have not done with any of the others, and I went back to our original concept, where we just take the person's playlist and rearrange it in the order that we want without adding any songs, because I could not go listen to 47 albums, and I knew that I would be leaving stuff off and I would be driving myself crazy. Just a few, I mean, just the ones that you guys mentioned. I mean, I definitely would have had Nobody Loves Me But My Mother on there. I would have had the incredible long version of You're Mean from Completely Well. I love that. I mean, there's just so many, and then it would just end up being 40 songs long. So I just took Richard's list and just rearranged it, because that was our original concept with
That
this,
was,
is what we
yeah.
were supposed
It
to
kinda
do.
was.
Yeah.
And it got away from us, and we ended up going right back to what we were doing before and listening to people's full discography, which really kind of defeated the purpose of the whole playlist battle to begin with. But anyway, so I have 21. They're Richard's songs rearranged. Again, if I would have made my own list, half of these would not be on there. They would be replaced with, well, you know, better songs. But so at number 21, Darlin', You Know I Love You. Way too uptown for me. That's like you're in the New York Jazz Club, you're at the Cotton Club or something. Too many horns. I think you hear his guitar. Is this the one where you hear his guitar like one note? You know, all these horns, and he just goes pew in the BB King note. I think it is. Darlin', You Know I Love You is my number 21. Number 20 is All Over Again. Decent song, really fast song. It's just kind of, you know, it's a kind of a pedestrian blues song. You Upset Me Baby is number 19. It's okay. Sneaking Around, we're back to the Cotton Club again, with, you know, something more like something Cab Calloway would do. At number 18. 3 O'Clock Blues. He's really pushing his voice in that one. That's number 17. He's really, I mean, if you want the vocal BB King to really like stretch it as far as his like ranges, then definitely you want to check out 3 O'Clock Blues, kind of an earlier song from him. I think that was 17. Number 16, Miss Martha King. We're going all the way back to 1949 with that one. So it's a really primitive recording. You get to hear his guitar sounding a little bit different. He doesn't have his kind of signature tone yet, so it's a different sound for BB King. And it is a really primitive recording. It sounds something more like you're listening to Bessie Smith or something from the 20s and 30s. I mean, it must have been on a really low budget label, because 1949, I mean, doesn't sound great, but they usually sound better than that. Interesting to have, let's see here, 21, 16.
I mean, 46, it probably was on a 10-inch, right?
Yeah, 49. Yeah, it would have been on a shellac.
Yeah.
So number whatever this is, it's interesting because I'm Gonna Sit In Till You Give In, which is a decent song, but when you play it on at least 2 different streaming services, it plays I'm Gonna Move to the Outskirts of Town from this album. And this is the album that it's supposed to be on. It's not on this album. So if you look it up on like YouTube Music, and I think there's another one, it shows that it's on this album, which it isn't. Then you play it, and it plays I'm Gonna Move to the Outskirts of Town, which I think is a better song anyway, but I just thought that was really strange. And if you look up the lyrics to I'm Gonna Sit In Till You Give In, some of them actually show I'm Gonna Move to the Outskirts of Town. I don't know what happened there, but
That's right.
very odd.
That's wild.
5 Long Years is another decent one. We're getting into the typical framework of the blues, where you say a line, you repeat the line, and then the third line. Richard was commenting when we did the Cowboy Junkies that he could look at that list and tell it was Craig's, and there's a Craig song, there's a Craig song. Here's a Richard song, Niji Baby, because he's in Japan, he's in Tokyo, and Richard's gonna have something from that album on there. Great guitar work on there though. And I didn't know what that was. I didn't know what Niji Baby was. I thought it was literally going to be some Japanese song that he was going to be doing. Because sometimes he goes way out. Have you seen his tribute to Yngwie Malmsteen?
What?
Those are 2 names that don't go together.
No.
And he does this tribute to Yngwie Malmsteen, and he's got these huge ass fingers playing this like shredding thing, and it's like,
Wow.
is this AI? Is this a joke? Yeah. BB, look it up on YouTube.
Wow.
But it is not a Japanese song. It's a nice blues song. I got Lucille coming in before that, the one that's all about his guitar, 10 minutes long, talking blues. He's just talking about his guitar and the whole story behind it. It saved his life in a car crash and where the name came from and all of that kind of stuff. But the guitar playing in that song is what makes it shine. I mean, I think sometimes Lucille sounds like she's crying, and then he makes the guitar cry. I mean, it's just amazing. I got Hummingbird before that. I would have this lower on the list, but those backing vocals and the chorus at the end is what does it for me. Featuring Mary Clayton, who is
Oh, really?
the female vocal on "Give Me Shelter," the Rolling Stones. But yeah, this is a rock album. If you're a classic rock fan, you don't have any BB King, get this first. This is like you were saying, the Bill Szymczyk album. Joe Walsh is on here, Leon Russell. This is them trying to cross him over to the classic rock audience, and they certainly do an excellent job of that.
Yeah.
But I don't need to hear BB King talking about when she comes, it's sweet, and there's hummingbird spreading her legs.
Oh,
I don't need sexy BB King.
scandalous.
To know you is to love you. Now we're getting disco. BB King on the 2s and 4s. Disco with the party background. It's not a live track, but it's a party. Like Marvin Gaye's Got to Give It Up. There's a lot of songs like that around this time where they had like a party background. So that's one of those. Many Miles Traveled. Had not heard that before. That's a nice song just because it can prove that BB King is still got it. Got that at number 9. So yeah, great to hear that. It's like a blues rock song. It's like if you walked into a blues thing and you heard it playing, just a band playing, that it would sound like that. Sweet Little Angel. We got Angel spreading her wings again or whatever, but it is from the Live at the Regal Theater. If you're gonna get a live album, you either get the Cook County Jail or get Live at the Regal. One of the two. Those are the two. Recorded stupendously. Great night. The audience is into it. And blues music like this is, I think, served better on live albums. I'm not a big fan of, rock live albums are kind of what they are. Country live albums are what they are, whatever. Soul live albums don't usually do it. Funk live albums definitely don't usually live up to the studio album. But blues live albums, that's usually where it's at. The whole audience in there, when you've got that blues sound, where it's this really earthy kind of, there's only 4 instruments playing, and the way that a lot of them are recorded, I mean, that's where it's at. So yeah, the Live at the Regal Theater or Cook County Jail are the two to get first from BB King. Never Make a Move Too Soon. Now we get the organ in there. It sounds really funky. This is a funky album. I think this is from '77. This is Midnight Believer. But yeah, this is funky stuff. Kind of sounded more on the lines of maybe the Staple Singers got backing him up or something like that, their band. But Let the Good Times Roll. We're live again, 1976, the album where he does with Bobby Bland. Here's BB King. Here's Bobby Bland. Guess they couldn't put him together in the photograph, but what's this gatefold like? Let's see here. Is this the one where? Oh no, that's not what I thought it was. Okay, but they're still not together in the gatefold. But anyway, I love this label. The old ABC label where it's like a rainbow of like red and yellow, and then you get a blues album on Impulse, and then it's the same motif, but it's blue and green. I always thought that was really cool.
Yeah, mine are that way too.
But yeah, Thrill Is Gone. Chains and Fangs, another great track from this album, the Mississippi Seeds. But yeah, Nobody Loves Me. My Mother is on here. Ask Me No Questions. Ain't Gonna Worry My Life Anymore is just so great. I mean, there's so many great songs on here. But Richard went with Hummingbird. And Chains and Things, which is really good. Chains and Things is my number 5. Number 4, The Thrill. It's gone! Is it on here? Yeah, The Thrill is gone. It's gone away. This is another great BB King album that you can get after you get the Indianola Mississippi Seeds is Completely Well. Same kind of era, same kind of thing going on there. But, yeah. And that incredible song I mentioned earlier, You're Mean. You got to check that out. But, yeah, The Thrill is gone. Aretha Franklin's Spirit in the Dark came out about a year later or whatever, and she does an incredible version of The Thrill is Gone. And
unbelievable.
Also, the song I have at number 2. But yeah, excellent version. Just as good as BB King's. Maybe a little bit better. I got some help I don't need. It was when I saw this song on the list. It's from this album, LA Midnight. But when I saw this song on the list, that's what sealed it for me. That I'm just gonna take Richard's list. As long as this song is on there, I'm just going to take Richard's list and reorganize it. Otherwise, I probably would have said no.
I almost bought that record at the record store the other day.
It's not a consistent album. It does have I got some help I don't need, but it's not as solid as the other ones. But just if you got a compilation with that song on it,
Yeah.
then that's probably good enough to represent that. But yeah, next time the Iceman comes around, he better bring some ice. The next time the Milkman comes around, he's not bringing any milk. What the hell's going on around here? I'm gonna get a Frigidaire. I don't need any ice. I think that's actually from the outskirts of town. But yeah, I got some help I don't need, people. Number 2, I already mentioned I was gonna put this at number 2, but again, Why I Sing the Blues. Man, what a great track. Is it on here? No, it's not on there. But yeah, Aretha Franklin does that on Spirit of the Dark too. The line about the roaches have to, the roaches are saying move over and give me some room. I just think it's just, you got kids walking around, ain't got no rules, and you're talking about these crazy hippie kids. Can you imagine taking that and putting it in today's world? But number 1. I took Richard's list and rearranged it, but I do have to change the version of this, of my number 1. And that is How Blue Can You Get? But, my God, you have to do the live in Cook County Jail version. They boo the sheriff and the warden, head warden, and all that to begin this. It does go into a minute and a half of Every Day I Have the Blues, which is another great song. And then How Blue Can You Get? The audience reaction to that, you don't get that on the studio version. The studio version is like 2.5 minutes. This version is like, about almost 6 minutes. But it's the parts where he's talking about, I bought you something, whatever car he says. You said, I want a Cadillac. And the whole audience screams. I bought you a 7-course meal. You said it was just a snack. I gave you 7 children, and now you want them back. Why? And the whole audience.
And you want to give them all back,
right? And so, yeah, the live in Cook County Jail with that is the way to do for me. How Blue Can You Get? And alternative rock fans from the '90s might recognize a sample. There was this band called Primitive Radio Gods, one-hit wonder, modern rock gods, and they had a song called "Standing in a Broken Phone Booth with Change in My Hand," which. Or maybe it was Money in My Hand, which I don't know if that ever crossed over to hit radio. It was pretty big on modern rock radio in around 95 or so. And it takes his, I've been down Broadway, baby. I've been down haunted ever since the day we met. And it just keeps sampling that all over the song. So if that sounds familiar, it's probably that's where that comes from, is How Blue Can You Get? But yeah, I was doing a lot of this playlist, driving around downtown St. Louis. And wow, it really fit. I can imagine what it would be like driving around downtown Chicago with this on. That must have, I don't know if you guys did that or not, but that must have been perfect.
Sitting on Lakeshore Drive in traffic.
Wow, yes. I mean, wow. I mean, just Chicago pizza and Chicago blues. I mean, St. Louis loses both of those battles because St. Louis blues is a lot like the Harlem, the Cotton Clubs, the horns and Kansas City type shit. I mean, it's not as bad as Kansas City blues, but I mean, it's not as good as Chicago blues or that's where it's at. So, and the pizza, of course, the Chicago pizza definitely beats St. Louis pizza. But yeah, BB King. Have you tried St. Louis pizza?
No,
it's
I don't think
tomato sauce and a meat.
I don't like deep dish pizza
on a cracker. No, it's the opposite of deep dish. It's a cracker.
I might like it.
Oh God.
Yeah, I might like that too.
Thin crust. It makes thin crust pizza look thick or something. It's
really. I might like that.
No,
I don't like pizza crust.
Have you had Emo's pizza? That's St. Louis style pizza.
Oh.
Yeah.
No. Never heard of it.
So yeah, back to BB King. So that's my top 21. Richard's just revised, but my God, how can you not put Your Mean on there? And no one loves me but my mother, and she could be jiving too.
So many songs, and good Lord, how many children he fathered over the years.
That's what I didn't want to do, is make this hour long with my own 45 title BB King list, and I knew I wouldn't be. Oh, I can't leave that one off. Oh, I can't leave that off. Oh, I can't. It's like I'm not even gonna do that.
I started doing that, you know. I mean, when I started going through like some of the live stuff, I was like, "Oh man, that's a great version of that stuff." And then I'd hear a different version of that song. I was like, "Okay, am I gonna do that? Or am I gonna start doing different versions of songs?" And I then
save that for our own channels when we have our, definitive BB King video that we'll all do or whatever. The four of us doing it would be like that would be a long video.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
that was good. It was fun. I hadn't listened to BB in a while.
Well, he makes a really good introduction to blues too, because like you said, he's very mainstream.
Yeah,
but he's very authentic at the same time. So
yeah,
he's very good at what he does.
Yeah.
But I mean, who else can play one note on a guitar, and you know who it is?
Yeah,
that's certain.
Yeah. Truth.
Broke a string at Farm Aid and changes it right in the middle of the song and just keeps playing. Doesn't miss a note, basically. That's another big video on YouTube that you can check out. Or what? Live Aid, yeah. Live Aid or Farm Aid, one of the two.
Slim Harpo, is that who I'm thinking of? Maybe comes close on that, but yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, Eddie Van Halen plays two notes, and you can tell.
But but when BB King would hit that one note, it was just, I don't know. There was just I don't know. It was just the way he did it in the sound, and he's playing that big ass Gibson guitar, and just I was surprised too when I met him and I shook his hand. His hands, they're huge, but they were really soft. That it really kind of surprised me, because I was thinking, the fingers being all calloused up and everything, and but no, he's.
Is he your favorite King?
My favorite King?
Albert, BB. Who's
I like Albert King, but I don't have much Albert King.
I
think the only one I have is
the big
Born Under a Bad Sign.
Born Under a Bad
Sign.
I
have that one, and the one he did with Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Man, baby, down at the local laundromat.
It's a great.
I done got wise, and Daddy ain't going for that. Anyway, that's Albert King.
I don't. Yeah.
Who also has a song about his guitar, and his guitar's name is Lucy. It's like, really?
The song is called I Love Lucy.
Oh,
boy.
Yeah. I think it's on Born Under a Bad Sign.
He's getting arrested for that one.
Yeah.
That was fun. Though.
Yeah. So what's coming up next is we'll be talking about the tops and bottoms of 1974. You don't want to miss that. The best and worst music of that year. And we also have our album review of The Clash and London Calling. Good times with The Clash, and a double album with a hidden track. One of the first hidden tracks.
Yep.
And one of the more popular songs on it.
Yep.
So yes, thank you so much for watching our BB King playlist battle. Once again, we are the Vinyl Community Guncles. My name is Robert Fitton, along with
Richard at Calvin Wazoo.
Craig's Vinylblowthoria. What? Fuck. Oh my Jesus!
It's his first day, folks.
Man, I've never done this before.
I've never done this kind. I've never done this before.
Not me.
Mike at Hub Tunes.
Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we'll talk to you again next time.